somebody gives you I find it very useful at work when I'm in conference calls and somebody gives an idea that's fucking ridiculous. You know, it's stupid, right? But I'm practicing yes and so I find a nugget in something they're saying, and I kind of like big them up about it and kind of like pivot to what I really want to talk about, which is what I might think at the time is like more valid, but I'm making it almost seem like it's their idea. You know what I'm saying? So yes, and so just keep that in mind as a little trick, little feather in cap. You use it on these white folks that they don't never know what hit them. They just think that you bigging them up. You know? Martha! Darwin, what are you doing here?
It's challenge day.
Welcome back, challengers. This is Challenge Day. I'm your man, Darwin Mesadu, aka Darwin Darko.
And I'm Jeff, not Jeffrey. Hey, so check me out. What's the rundown for today? What we got going on, bro?
So there's a couple of things in the news most of folks have come across. One, you know what? How am I gonna say this? Y'all better write this down because I don't say this a lot.
Here we go.
Trump was right. Hold on, let me check my notes.
I'm trying to figure out if hell froze over or not. Can somebody check and let me know?
Trump was right on something, and I'm just so. And it's the same kind of bullshit that happened with the damn fusion reporting.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about how he was right and what the fuck that was about. But also another thing that happened in around the spaces is Dana White smacked the fire out of his wife.
Hey, fire. For real. But
so
I have some interesting positions on that. So we'll get into that.
Now, already from the top, we're not going to bury we're not going to try to hide that and be like, yo, it's not right. Don't hit women no matter
Absolutely
what.
not.
Right. So
Absolutely not.
I'm gonna say that off the top, but there's some things to look into. There's some lessons to be learned.
Yeah, absolutely.
On this one.
We have to be objective here.
So, but before we get into all that, you know, it's been another challenging week. Jeff, what was something that challenged you this week? And did you learn lessons? How'd you break through? Talk to me.
Yeah, so man, last week I believe I talked about this certification exam that I got. Actually, the exam is tomorrow. And that joint has been putting me through it. I'm not gonna lie. Just the study, just the preparation and doing the practice exams have really kind of like made me, I don't know if I'm having more anxiety or less because I would do well on, and I've taken like quite a few practice exams, right? So I'll do, and this is after like doing all the study sessions and all that stuff. And I'll do a practice exam, get the score that I need. And the next practice exam is like, not so much. And then I'll do two more and it's like, okay, this looks good. And then I'll get hit with another crazy practice exam. That's like, so it's kind of like, you know, in my profession, it's a lot of it is predicated on obviously your experience and your skill set. But like a lot of times, man, like if you want to even be noticed out the door, you got to have that cert. You got to have a certain type of certification.
Just out the gate.
Just out the gate. Like for them to even, regardless of your skill set or not, like sometimes they're just looking at keywords. And they're like, oh, he has this particular cert. This is what we value in our company. Let's hit him up and see if he's interested or whatever. So like, and I get hit up like a lot, you know. But there are certain positions, certain things that I also want to pursue in the future as far as my tech career goes. And I need this. This is one of the certs that I need to have. But more importantly, my company is servicing a client that requires this certification for all the folks who are, all the engineers who are supporting this larger project. So my company probably wouldn't even ask us for it. But because this is what the client demands, my company's like, we got to get it, guys. So just work on it, whatever. So as far as the challenge go, that's been the challenge really, is just like really getting over that anxiety and not allowing it to like kind of like now allowing it to alter my confidence and what I'm capable of doing, obviously at my job, but also like being
Yo,
prepared for the actual
so hold
exam
on. So you're
itself.
saying that all of this is just for your own kind of development? It's not like a
So
particular.
it's twofold, really, right? Like it's low key like a requirement for real. Like again, the client requires this particular cert to support this particular contract. Like everybody on my team is required to get it. Right.
Yeah.
Some folks on my team have already taken the test and have required it. So I can't be one of those guys that like not get it. Right. That's gonna look crazy, right? So like that's not gonna be the case because I'm definitely gonna
That
get
reminds
it.
me of damn, what movie was
ahead.
that? Was that damn, what movie was that with freaking Tom Cruise becomes a lawyer or something? Was that Jerry Maguire? I'm
Jerry
not sure.
Maguire.
Was that
Jerry
Jerry Maguire? He's
Maguire.
like,
That's
I'm
when
not sure
become
about you,
lawyer.
but he's like, they're like, everybody in this firm passed the bar exam on the first
Yes.
try. And he was like,
Yeah.
really? What?
Yeah.
Really? What?
That's really high. That's really high.
It's like, wait a minute. The job isn't saying that you have to pass the bar on the 1st try, but everybody that works here passed the bar on the first try.
Yeah. So it's gonna make you feel some kind of way.
So we're not saying that you don't gotta have the cert, but
we kind of looking at you like so that's really the biggest thing. If that wasn't the case, then it wouldn't bother me as much. But it's one of those things where it's like I gotta make sure I pass it the first time. Right. And there are certifications that are much harder than this one. So like and especially with my skill set, there's an expectation that like you shouldn't even have issues with this, right? Which when I began studying for it, I was kind of like, oh, this is a little shaky. But I got to a place where I'm comfortable about it. But to kind of just condense this this soliloquy, whatever. But that's really the challenge, right? The challenge was actually addressing the anxiety that I have when it comes to taking these certification exams. But I'm in a place where I'm comfortable and I'm confident that I'm gonna pass it tomorrow. And that's really how I accomplished it, just based on like my performance on these practice exams and knowing what I know and having that confidence to be to know that I know what I know. It's just go with it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. So and that's how I accomplished the challenge that I've had this past week.
Right on. I feel you. So the test is, when you said the test is tomorrow?
It's tomorrow morning.
It's tomorrow morning. So good luck with that. And shit, I've been done with tests for a long time. So I ain't really trying to get back. The last heavy hitter test I took was for the Series 7 when I was in investment banking and shoot, man, that joint had me on my free time. Like I'm talking about like studying, like I was taking the finals in my senior year in college or something like that. Like, and this was just me going to like a local library. I found out what a local library was. So I feel you on that. Good luck with all that, and not even good luck because you studied for it. You've been studying for a while for it, so you'll be fine. You'll be fine. For me, this isn't a major. It's kind of a major update. It's a big deal for me, but this is kind of update on something, a challenge that I had previously, which was this goddamn global entry shit, right? And so, I had trouble with global entry trying to get an appointment to just do the interview. But I ended up talking to my boy. He told me to make these appointments. He told me to like check online every day to try to make an appointment. So I did that, and then I found an appointment like a week later versus before when I had checked. It was like 5 months. Jeff, you know how long that process is, so bruh, what you going through with it?
That whole process is janky for real. Like they just it's annoying because it's like, yo, for people like me who
already got clearance,
and I'm on a straight and narrow for real. Like I do everything by the letter.
You already got TSA pre-check, if anything.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, bro, like what's the problem?
The steps is to go to apply first, and then you get they do something in the background, and they research your background, and then they give you the window to get an interview, and then you do the interview, and then you get approved, right? Yes. So Jeff hasn't even gotten to the point where he's gotten the first round of background research done yet for some strange reason. All they gotta do is like look over to the other department that already gave this guy clearance, and whatever. Either way,
it's probably down the hall. It's probably right down the hall.
Bro, this junk was so easy for me. It was so easy. It was just like it was laughable how hard it was before, because trying to go to freaking this other airport that's freaking an hour away, and then they do construction on the road, so that makes it even more of a hassle.
Yep.
But
Longer
yo,
commute.
I took the metro to Ronald Reagan Building.
Oh,
The
that's
metro
legit.
stop
Right
is
there.
under the building. I
Literally.
went
You pop
up
right
one
up.
floor.
Yep.
I go into the building. The guy says, I started freaking taking my belt off and all that stuff to go through the federal building. And the guy's like, oh, you already have a badge for this department. You're Gucci.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's not a Gucci belt, but okay,
Oh my God.
I can go, I'll slide. And so I'm like, yo, where's this particular
I probably
office?
would have took my cat card too, actually, to be honest.
Yo, take it with you. Never know if you're going to federal
I'm gonna
building.
take
Either
it.
way, they're like, the office that you need is right there to the left. Bro, literally, I walked past the security screening and it was the door to the left. It could not have been simpler.
Crazy, bro.
It could not have been simpler. When I went in there, only person there, no line. They had 3 agents waiting up. I could pick, you know what I mean? So, those the cute TSA ladies. So, I went to her,
Of course.
make my experience overall a little bit more pleasurable. You know what I'm talking about? She asked me like 2 questions and I was done in like 5 minutes. It was so easy. And
crazy.
The hassle to have tried to go to the airport or to make an appointment 4 months from now to go out there, it was whack. But that was a pleasant little turn of events there. I don't need any time soon because and it wasn't preventing me from doing anything because you're not like it's only on your way back, you got to stand to the line, you know what I'm saying? So it don't stop you from going anywhere if you want to go to go on a trip and stuff like that. So I got a couple of trips lined up. But man, knowing that I had that done and under my belt, that was the last bit of hassle for those future plans, and it's going to come in handy.
See that convenience, and that convenience is such a breath of fresh air, right? But at the same time, it's like there are thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who are fighting just to get to that door, to get to that one door that has nobody in the line. We're all trying to squeeze it a bit.
There's nobody in that
nobody's
line.
in there. That's crazy.
Like when you come back into the country and you check in, there's like it's like 10 kiosks they have lined up, and like 2 people at most. You and some other person in that kiosk number 7, while you're a freaking kiosk number 2 or something like that. You know what I mean? And that's it. You go through and you're done. Meanwhile,
is that where my tax dollars are going to? People just sitting around, just looking.
We salute you, sir. We salute you. Thank you for your donation.
Dang veterans.
Thank you for your donations. Right. So,
well, I guess that's the least they can do for risking their lives.
Let me through a line. Can I skip a line?
I guess.
Hey, bro, it's Veterans Day. Can I skip one line? But yeah, so that's the challenges for this week, man. You know what I mean? I don't know what y'all got going on out there, but man, talk to us about it. You know what I mean? Drop it in the chat, drop it in the comment section. You know what I mean? Let's talk about it. Let's see. We could freaking what do you call that? Source this out, to crowdsource this thing.
Yeah,
facts. You know what I mean? And maybe find some solutions for whatever you may be challenging. But we're gonna go ahead and take a break, and on the other side, what was Trump right about after all? It's a sad.
Get into it.
We'll get into it. 1/3 believe that media are the enemy of the people. And you might have heard Trump say this,
often,
right? A lot. It's talking about the media being the enemy of the people, the media being the enemy of the people. And I thought about this way before Trump. So it's not like Trump invented.
Yeah, this is not a new idea.
It's not a new idea for him, but man, when you talk about the media is just there for their own fucking ends. They're not there to progress society. They're not there to make sure that the people have the voice over the oligarchy. Oligarchy. They're not there to really hold power in check. You know what I'm saying? To be a check on power, the quote unquote fifth estate. Yo, they out here just trying
not to sure if I agree with that, but go on.
Not agree with what part?
That they're not utilized as like a bit of a check on power. I think the media is. I think they view themselves as some form of accountability to the government.
Let me say like this: journalism right? And a lot of this stuff is an extension of journalism. The purist in terms of journalism that are still alive out there, but like these things are there to really be a check on power. That's what it was. Those things that I described, those are this is why the printing press and these things got into wide circulation. It's because they were true to the craft.
Yes.
That ain't the journalism we got today, bro.
Absolutely not.
That is not the journalism we got today. It's few and far between. This is why I got upset about the damn fusion thing. When I was like, I don't want to read the mainstream media shit on this fusion thing because I know they're gonna sensationalize it. They're gonna make it more than it is. They're gonna blow it. I'm gonna wait for the reputable source that I know is gonna really break it down and give me the reasons behind. The question is why. Barbara Walters died recently, and one of her the most basic questions and that made her the great interviewer of her time is a simple question. Why? Somebody would say some shit.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, but why? It's like, that's the most basic thing. Like, give me the stuff behind it. Give me the background. Give me essence. Give me the numbers. Give me the, don't give me a bunch of your opinion and your conjecture and all that shit, right? But that's all that the media has turned into. And so with this bullshit,
they turn into what in particular? Because you're talking about the but why piece, right? What does the media turn into in particular? Just so we can know.
The media turns it into a fucking horse race. They turn everything into a scandal, into sensationalize. They
salacious content.
Everything. That's what they do. They might CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. They might dress it up with people with ties. They got a nice lighting. The studio looks great. You know what I mean? Fox News
cinematic type of videography going on, and you know they got like this epic movie cam thing now that I've been seeing CNN doing.
CNN with the breaking news, everything breaking news. Dog bites man, like
right?
Like that's breaking news. Like everything is breaking news for them. Fox News got the women's legs all showing because they want to get those clips.
Absolutely, we know how that goes.
So like, yo, bro, the media is not your friend. That's what I'm gonna take away from all this. What got me to this, I mean, I've been felt this, but the latest violation by the goddamn media.
Yeah.
So turns out Biden now has a document issue. Okay.
I've heard about this recently. Yeah. What's going on with that? We call it
a document issue. The thing is, they found a couple pages in his presidential, I think it might have been, no, not his presidential library. He's got a Biden, it's called the Biden Penn Center, right? It's an institution, like a research institution, you know, almost kind of presidential library kind of thing. But he was vice president, so he doesn't get a presidential library. But either way, vice presidents are gonna have their institutions and you get names on buildings and libraries and stuff like that. Either way, apparently, while he was VP, he had the Biden Penn Center. It's here in DC. You know, John Hopkins has a building in DC. FIU has a building in DC. You know what I mean? All these institutions have, you know, whatever. So either way, he has an institution there called the Biden Penn Center, and he had some documents during the time when he was VP. Apparently, were classified documents that he had in his possession there. He don't even remember them. He forgot they were there. He didn't, however they got there. He might not never even seen these documents, mind you, because he has a team that's working on something. Probably when he had the clearance at the time, they checked it out of National Archives to take it to this other place. People know where it is and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, turns out his lawyers was just, I mean, that's another thing. I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole, but like, why he got random lawyers, like, just sitting around doing stuff all the time? I think like,
he got him on retainer, so he got to do something.
Retainer, but what are they actually doing? Like, why are you at work searching?
Collecting evidence.
Does a whole for what though? There was no investigation for nothing.
Well, but it's again, man. It's a ploy to discredit possible opponents, future opponents, for this run that he wants to execute when
Biden?
he runs again. No, I'm saying you're talking about as far as as far as Trump and his position, right? With the
Not
media.
yet, not that
Okay.
part.
Oh,
What
okay,
I'm getting at
okay.
right now
Okay.
is that the fact that this Biden thing came out because Biden, regular sunny day in November sometime, right? He's doing his thing, maybe on a bike ride, falling off a bike somewhere. His attorney found some documents in his desk at some
Oh,
institution.
his attorney. Okay, Biden's attorney. Okay, I got
Biden's
you.
attorney.
I think I missed that. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, and it was like,
all right.
And the very next day, they contacted the National Archive. And they're like, "Yo, we found some stuff that y'all might need. I don't know, y'all been looking for this. We got it." And they turned it over, right? Then I think maybe like a week later, a couple of days later, they found the Biden's team found some other documents in a garage. Like maybe he has an office in the garage or a desk in the garage or something like that. These were classified as well. And so, boom, the media went crazy.
I bet.
The media went crazy. Yo, they went nuts on. Hey, he's it's just like Trump. Trump had this raid at his. You raided his home. How come y'all didn't raid Biden's garage? How come y'all didn't raid Biden's home? You know, like,
has it been revealed like what's actually on those documents in particular?
It hasn't been revealed yet. It hasn't been revealed. It hasn't been classified. I mean, there's a whole. I mean, you and I working related in federal related positions. From my experience, I can tell you there's a problem, and I think experts, like people that have been in the game for a long time, will tell you there is a problem with overclassification. Like every little thing, like it's a recipe, or it's this person won an award for best agent of the month or something like that, and that's classified. Like, come on, like it'd be some stuff that just be like, it's way they way too fast and loose with the classification of stuff, right? And the point of doing that is to, of course, hide stuff from the public that may be of national security, because you can't let the public know everything because it might jeopardize some other things. So I get it as a country, things like that, or run on the banks, or or run on the grocery stores. We already had some shortages and stuff when COVID hit. The lawyers found this stuff, and they're saying that, hey, this is the same thing. Biden is in violation, just like Trump was in violation. They raided his home and all stuff. Okay, so here's what the problem with the media, why the media is the enemy of the people. This is all false equivalency. It ain't the same. It's apples and oranges. Like, they fought for a year and a half to get the paperwork from Trump and his people, just to get it from him.
That's true.
They gave him time. At the time, they worked with him like, bro, you're not the president anymore. Like, give us the stuff. It's not yours. He kept on insisting, these are my papers. These are my documents. I own these. No, they explained to him time after time, please don't let us make this. Don't let us have to escalate the situation. Please. Mind you, on the other end, Biden's people found the stuff. Next day, they called to turn it in. Next day, hey, we're here volunteering to give y'all. We just found some shit y'all wasn't even looking for. We just volunteered. How is that the same from fighting a year and a half?
Yeah, if you ain't got nothing to hide, you're not gonna have this. You're not gonna have this resistance to just giving us some documentation if that's the case. So I see the point that you're trying to make here.
Another one in that same breath is when you turned it in, the stuff that y'all finally forced you to turn in. Turns out you didn't turn everything in. You were still hiding some stuff.
Yeah, it's true. It was just a portion of what it was. Yep.
We had to go in again. Like, the FBI didn't raid mar-a-lago.
Kind of looked like it, though.
No, it actually did not. I'll show you many differences why it did not. They wore plain clothes. FBI raids your spot, you better believe they're gonna have them fucking FBI jackets. Yeah, like 50 said. Like 50 Cent said. Them FBI fucking jackets.
Yeah, hard uniforms for sure. It'll be a hard look.
You know what I'm saying? They're all gonna be holding, right? But this one, I think they had a select few people holding, but everybody was in civilian clothes, right?
Okay.
And they told you when they were coming. They called ahead. What kind of raid? They call.
Okay, that's not. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's not really a raid. That's just like, hey, we're
They extended.
We're making a schedule stop. Yeah, we coming to your crib.
There's
just
every level
know.
of courtesy, and mind you, yeah. This is after a year and a half of asking nicely.
So he was well aware that this was a possibility of even happening anyways.
Kept on pushing back. They're like, just give us back this stuff. Yeah. And he kept on pushing back. And, and he would give him a little bit of, but not give him everything else. He's just like, and the place that he had it was in an office that he constantly puts up on like Twitter and Truth Social, whatever his social media is, of people in his office chilling, hanging out, having a photo shoot. Yeah. So this is a heavily trafficked area. And the stuff was found in his goddamn desk, like right there. So like anybody could potentially have gotten on. Anyways, the main point I'm getting to all this is this, amongst several other of the details that's going on in this story. Yo, you turn on cable news, Biden should be impeached by now. Biden should be impeached by now, like for doing a third, a quarter of what this nigga Trump was doing. But Trump was telling y'all, that's what y'all get. Because I told y'all the media is the enemy of the people. They don't care that the Biden shit is different from my shit. They just know that sensationalizing this is gonna make their ratings jump through the fucking roof. Yeah, they don't care to tell you the truth because the truth will calm you down. But we know social media taught us anything that anger sells.
That's a priority. Yeah, absolutely.
Anger gets the people going.
And what makes this, and that's a like that's a point that you really can't refute. And in addition to that, look at YouTube now, right?
You get lost in the YouTube algorithm.
Oh man,
done for. You make a left turn.
It's a wrap.
You done.
It's a wrap. Like you're gonna find yourself in a poltergeist or in some kind of abyss of like wild videos where like the most salacious things that you're like, how is this even legal to even post on YouTube? And people are getting like, there are like really toxic and dark corners of YouTube, especially when you start going in a rabbit hole. But these people understand that, like you're saying, it is obviously it's a large form of media, right? It's a social media in general. It's an arm of social media, YouTube, one of the largest, most influential arms. And at the same time, salacious content sells. Put a little bit of half truth in there, mix in a little bit of things that kind of tickle your fancy.
Some banners.
And some banners. And some nice flashy banners and a nice production to kind of pull you in, and like
you get more views and you get more ad dollars.
Absolutely, you get more viewerships and you start attracting all types of
bro. So, I mean, the news media used to be a loss leader for channels, right? So you had ABC or NBC and all these cats, right? And news was a portion that didn't make any fucking money for them, and so but they were required to have news.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if the FCC I don't know who was regulating back then. Maybe it was the FCC.
I believe it probably was FCC, actually. Yeah, they've been around for a minute.
So if it was them, they required them to have news. Yes. And so the broadcasting companies know that they ain't gonna make no money off people watching. So they're like, you know what? We're just gonna like it's a rounding error. You know what I mean? It's a rounding error. It's something we have to do. We'll just make money off the other stuff, and then we'll just count it as one of our obligations. And that's it. So the news wasn't required to make money back then. So you could do hard hitting local stuff. You know what I mean? You could really dive into a story, do long form journalism and stuff. And so you get an incentive system that's based off of clicks and likes and retweets and reposting, and then you can distill it down to the fact that, people do those behaviors. It's like Pavlov's dogs. People do those behaviors when they're mad.
Yes.
So now all of a sudden we're doing nothing but crime reporting. We're doing nothing but like inflation reporting. Yep. All of a sudden the border is going crazy. Although it's been the same fucking border the past 2-3 years, or fucking past 20 years, really.
Yeah, several decades.
It's been the same thing.
Same issue.
But suddenly now, because we see the numbers for our ad dollars are dwindling or something. We got to freaking sensationalize something. So it's been geared up since after the midterms, because that's a big money getter for them, the midterms. Every time there's an election, right?
Of course.
So it's been geared up for them to find something, because it was going to be nothing but like quiet time, except then the speaker thing took forever, so that gave him some news, right?
Yeah.
Then the speaker thing finished. Fuck.
Gotta find something else.
Now what do we got? We gotta find something else.
Yeah.
So they freaking sensationalized this damn Biden documents thing. That's definitely not the same as the damn Trump thing.
And giving it 24-hour coverage.
24 hours, bruh. Biden, my G. Let me talk to you real quick. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Know, it might be nap time right now for Biden. I don't know if he's gonna be listening.
Yo, like, how could you fucking like,
slipping on your pimping, brother.
Like that?
Slipping on your pimping, yeah.
How you slipping like that? Like, I know for sure. I mean, Trump was trying to hide these documents. There was some of the folders. There were some of the folders Trump turned back in that were empty. Like, there was documents in these folders, but these folders are now empty. Where the fuck are those documents? Right? So it's like, so talk about the difference. There's a difference. It's like, yo,
it's very evident.
Yo, Biden, I know what happened. I know exactly what happened here, Biden. I get it. You was gonna do an overseas trip for Obama for something. You know what I mean? And then the day before, though, you had to do a speaking engagement at the university. Okay, you had to prepare something. So you went to go to your office at the Penn Biden Center. You know what I mean? It's 6:37. You already got a Jack and Coke. You know what I mean? And you put the paperwork there. It's classified. You figure you're just gonna read it real quick. You have a safe, you know what I mean, that's sanctioned by, you know what I mean, the archives that you could put it in when you're done, you know. Also, but like, it's in there, and then you're watching. You open it up, and
it's just falling asleep.
It's 7 o'clock.
It's 7 o'clock, and it's
and
out.
You was out. He was out.
That's it.
You know,
completely forgot what he was doing the day before.
What was I doing, huh? Oh, Steph, I gotta go to the speaking again, and you out. I get it. And then your cleaning service came through, and it's like, oh, this shouldn't be out here. Am I gonna read it? But they freaking tucked it in, you know what I mean, the drawer, whatever. And they put it, and you never thought about it again, because after your speaking engagement, it was time for another fucking nap time or some shit, right? Or going.
And as far as something that's like physically in your eyesight, you don't see it anywhere, so you're not even it's not even
think about it.
Dawning on you.
You got things coming to you. Yeah, you're the president.
Yeah, so I see how that can happen.
I said all that to say, I don't think Biden had malicious intent. Like, anybody,
I wouldn't put it past anybody, especially with all this hoopla surrounding Hunter Biden. So I wouldn't put it past anybody, but I would say
so but wait. See, that's how you get the fucking internet doing some dumb shit. Because ain't nobody till just now ever used that in the same sentence. The word Hunter Biden and these Joe Biden documents.
Right. But I'm saying that to say I can see how someone can try to connect that. That's why I mentioned that. Right.
Nobody did it yet until you did it.
That's fair. That's true.
When we say it out there,
but if I thought about
these in motion.
But if I thought about it, somebody else probably thought about it.
Nobody else put it out there. Anybody else put it out there but you.
As far as we know. I'm just saying.
So all that to say that the damn media is like not doing us any favors. Do your fucking research. But when I say do your research, you gotta know how to do research. Just because you read some shit somewhere don't mean you did research, people. So like, figure out how to actually do research, what information is valid, what information you can dismiss before you're talking about, oh, I did my research. I read 2 articles off of like some bootleg ass site or some shit like that, right? Yeah. But we'll continue dunking on the press on the other side when we get into this Dana White shit. So in the case of Dana White, the media failed us again. And I'm going to give Dana White the mic because he's hitting on something that is very true to reality, but like nobody really wants to admit it. Nobody ever really does, but he knows what's up. And I think everybody knows it, but we don't say it out loud. But what happened is Dana White and his wife were partying in Cabo. So this is the incident that happened. They were partying in Cabo. happened to be the same time I was in Mexico. So I'm like, hey, I ain't ran into you, homie. I guess, you know what I mean? We keep different circles. Anyways, he was having an argument with his wife, and she smacked him, right?
Yeah,
She
I saw the
smacked him,
video,
and he retaliated. He smacked her back. But this dude is actually a trained fighter, you know.
He is.
Although he's not in the UFC or anything, he's a trained fighter because, you know, he fucks with the industry. He's big, you know what I mean? He's a big dude, and his, you know, his wife is a little lady, and so sorry.
I'm gonna have to be very real on this. I'm just waiting for the opportunity. I'm gonna have to be very real on this. I'm just gonna keep it a bean.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
It's not funny, but it's like,
like, yo,
play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's all I'm saying.
Man.
That is the premise of what my argument is going to be on.
Like, lady, where did you think this was gonna go?
Right.
Like, no, you really fucked around and found out, didn't you? Like, because it's like you shouldn't hit women. Don't ever do it.
Not.
Go that away. A woman touches you, go fucking that away, my dude. I'm talking to all y'all dudes out there. Just go fucking that away. Forget about it. Your homeboys gonna clown you, or they're gonna whatever later whatever the fuck they gonna say, they gonna do it in jest. You know what I mean? It's all in good fun. Don't let that be a decision maker for you to fucking do some shit like Dana White did. Don't do that. He smacked it hard. He's fucking erased her, right? And you know, it got caught on tape. You know, it got caught on tape. There's cameras everywhere. TMZ got it and everything. And so, you know, he had to. He
sold the footage.
Yeah,
TMZ began anything because somebody sold the footage, but
of course, yeah, and they make bread off of it. People make bread off that, and they know who to call. They know who to call. You know what I mean? So, so anyway, so he spoke on it at this new press conference, right? This is one press conference. He's spoken a couple of things about it, but his immediate response was this. I'm sure you guys have seen the TMZ video of the slap and have seen my interview. He said this in an opening statement. It was obviously a horrible personal experience. There's no excuses for it. It's something I'm going to have to deal with and live with for the rest of my life. One thing I do want to clarify, this is him still talking. One thing I do want to clarify that I didn't talk about on the TMZ because I didn't expect it, and I didn't see it coming. What I didn't see coming are people who are defending me.
Yes.
Dana White is saying this. He's like, why y'all defending me?
But
he's like saying, yo, I was foul. He's letting them know. He's saying, yo, I was foul. Like it was wrong for me to do that. I was bugging. And y'all out here defending that shit?
I would like to know how people are defending him though, because I haven't seen like who's defending him.
Yo, like, these defenders. Oh, I thought y'all want to play men's sports. You know what I mean? Oh, I thought y'all said, you know what I mean, all's fair and loving, you know, loving politics, whatever. There's like all these like, you know, hey, this is why you women you should know your place. Some of those people are defending it. You know what I mean? The people like, oh, women belong in the kitchen kind of type. You know what I mean? Like those people are he's like, whoa. I'm not even defending me. But these people out there are. And so what's not written here is another thing that he said, and which ties to me into the media thing, is that he said in a later part in this interview, and it's not here, but it says he said something to the effect of, yo, there's not gonna be a punishment for me. An NFL guy, he does the same thing I did, the exact same thing. He's getting suspended for 6 months. He's losing all kinds of endorsements.
That's a very, very.
He looks at the NBA guys or whatever. He's like, yo, they get, you know, if it's an owner, you know what I mean? One of these owners, they might lose their team, you know what I mean? Or all kinds of stuff. If it's a politician, they may get asked to resign.
It's hard not to include the race component here. It's very difficult not to.
The race component. The race component. I'm not even going to dismiss that part. But Dana White is telling the truth when he says, there's not going to be a punishment for me.
Yeah, he's right.
The example he gave, you know what the example is? He's like, if you suspend me, 30-day suspension from UFC, me, Dana White, what am I going to do? Bitch, I'm going to some private island somewhere.
Yeah.
Gonna go jet skiing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All the bottle service, of course.
This is the CEO
you know what I mean?
of UFC.
At the service, like I have no bosses.
Yeah.
I am above this.
Dana White is UFC. Yeah,
I'm above all of this stuff. That's so to you, what does that mean? What does the word punishment mean to you if I'm suspended for 30 days?
Yeah.
Does that even is that really even a thing? And so my point again to that is to tie it to the first thing we talked about, where we talked about the Trump versus Biden documents is I think I decided I'm no longer of the illusion that the rest of America is on, where, quote, no one is above the law. No, Trump is above the law. I think Dana White is above the law. I think Elon Musk is above the law. I think all presidents, past and future, are all above the law. I actually think that Trump could, I am of this legal theory, that Trump could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and he will not see a day in prison.
That's kind of crazy. That's
Dana White told you.
I understand how you could come to that conclusion. I will say that I'm not sure if I could come to the. I'll say this. I think that there are people who are in favorable positions where they can get away with certain things. Above the law, though.
The question that Dana was really tugging at when he was talking about, he said, is really, what is punishment? What is it for? Because the thing is, like, as a society, we make a decision that somebody, we have a set of norms, right? We call them laws, right? We call them statutes, whatever, right? And we're setting this so we can function as a society. And in that, we have this carve out for those people that we know are gonna violate one of these laws. We call that prison, right? We call that the judicial system, right? And so the point of prison is what we call it. And I'm using a lot of quotes in a lot of this because it's called a correctional facility.
Yeah, it's supposed to rehab and reform.
Right, rehab and reform. So correctional facility is supposed to, but the idea though behind it is that there's a problem that we need to make you pay back to society for fucking up this little thing that we got going here, which is called the democracy, retribution, whatever. And so by you doing this, whether this time behind this space, this this isolation, you know what I mean, or whether we make you work it off or do some community service or something like that, or a debt to society, all that shit, right? So that person loses something of value for them, which is their time and their freedom.
Absolutely.
Right? Because they're in prison and shit like that, right? So the point of a punishment is that that person who violated has to lose a little bit of themselves, right? Granted,
that they can't gain back.
They can't get back. And you give that to society to kind of make the rest of us kind of whole. You know what I mean? However minuscule that your particular benefit may be from that butterfly effect.
Yes.
What the fuck can you do to Dana White for him smacking his wife, who struck him first? So the judicial system is going to be like, no, actually, he was defending himself.
Yeah.
The judicial system is not going to put him
into the law. It's self-defense.
It's self-defense. Yeah. And it's not like he escalated. He didn't get a gun or a bat or a weapon. He smacked her the same way she smacked him, except the results was different. So he's not getting punished by the law. And if we had these other systems like commissioners and league board members and all that kind of stuff, but what can how are you going to get Dana White to give back, to pay his debt to society? There's nothing you can do.
The only way you make guys like that, and I definitely see what you're saying. And I think that's correct, for the most part. The only way you get guys like that, to essentially pay some kind of debt to society, is hit their pockets, or affect your lifestyle somehow, which is what happens to a lot of these guys, like in the NFL, that ends up in these DV situations and all that. A lot of those guys, you see them now, they're the most docile human beings, because a lot of times those guys, their pockets got hit hard, like guys like Ray Rice. Now there's some guys that came out on top of it though, like your boy Deshaun Watson. He ended up getting a $200 million deal with the Browns. The Browns was like, oh,
people fighting over him. The Dolphins were fighting over him.
Yeah. They were like, oh, you were let off on that case? All right, cool. Let's come play for us now.
Although his wasn't domestic violence, it was sexual assault kind of harassment. Yeah.
But they were throwing that in there as well. But I'm saying, as far as like these offenses against women, right? So that's kind of like what I was getting at, as far as like, I guess an umbrella term, really, because I look at all these things like under that. Yeah. But it's kind of like you have some guys that come out on greener pastures when it comes to, because technically, according to the law, Deshaun Jackson, he's innocent. He was acquitted of all the charges, and he's innocent. But society, he's not. But the law determined that. Oh,
yeah.
This guy,
and so the point of bringing up the law thing is like, okay, so if this person can't pay his debt back to society in the form of the court, like, how are you going to? Because some of the things that suggested was to be like, but I mean,
change his lifestyle somehow.
Elon Musk was the first person in human history to lose $200 billion. Have you seen these headlines from a couple weeks ago?
I have seen that. Actually.
And mind you, even with the loss of $200 billion, he's still one of the richest people in the world.
Yeah. So for him, it does that. Yeah. Something got to give.
Something different. You punish an Elon Musk.
Yeah.
You just can't, but like you have to hit him where you have to hit him, bro, in the areas where it matters to him the most. Like for Elon Musk, where it would make a difference is his ego.
Exactly his influence, his ego.
Ego and his influence. Okay, who's gonna do that? The government doesn't control the freaking social medias.
That's true.
You know, I mean, it's not a utility like your cable bill or your freaking light bill or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, not cable, but like your light bill or water bill. But Trump could be the thing. Here's the thing. My theory is that Trump is trying to peddle some of these documents that in those empty folders to somebody for something. I genuinely think, from the history that I know of this guy Trump, and his cozying up with dictators and Russia and all that kind of stuff, I genuinely believe Trump is up to some nefarious shit, right? With that said, everything he did during his presidency, bribing Zelensky or trying to bribe Zelensky, right? Trying to get dirt on Biden, trying to affect the causing January 6th, first and foremost, he's twice impeached. The way he handled COVID, I think Trump has hundreds of thousands of lives lost on his hand alone.
How are you able to come to this conclusion though, as far as
COVID numbers?
Yeah, no, but because I think I remember you stating something that
it's a whole butterfly effect thing. It's a whole butterfly effect kind of thing.
How do you like quantify or substantiate all of that and tie it back to him?
They've done the math, and they said $1 million, right? But see that. Well, that's why you gotta take statistics and calculus, and probability in school. Because
those numbers, and I understand that. Like, I understand how those numbers work, because I'm very well acquainted with how those numbers work.
It's just grows exponentially.
Myself to see how they.
It's interesting to see the details for sure.
I see the details, like how they even came to that conclusion. Yeah.
So, anyways, he could be guilty of all of that, and I believe he's guilty of all of that. But I do not believe Trump will ever see the inside of a jail cell.
That's probably correct.
Never.
That's something I can agree with.
At best, he gets a at best in terms of like us to see him get punished for something, he would get house arrest at the home of his choosing and quote unquote probation for 4 years, house arrest for let's say 20 years, but it's at a home of his choosing and he can move about for business purposes, right? Business purposes for Trump is also going to New York, also going to Scotland, also going to look. He's got properties in all these goddamn places. So he would have no restriction basically on, and oh, guess what? I'm opening up a new building in Dubai somewhere. You know what I mean? But on the record, we'd be like, justice got him. Justice got him. And that's what we would call, no one is above the law.
It's the American way. It's the American way.
He's not about freaking pampered ass quote unquote imprisonment, but no one is above the law. Yo, some people are above the law. Biden is not going to be punished for any of this shit he did with these documents or didn't do with these documents. He didn't try to do it. I think it was inadvertent. He's just clumsy. And matter of fact, it's a lot of people in the government that misplace classified docs.
Oh yeah, that's a regular thing. That happens regularly. I noticed for a fact that happens regularly.
Happens
regularly. Yeah.
So, and then Trump went completely the other route. Where I think he's freaking trying to profit off of it probably and trying to use it as some leverage on somebody for something else. And he had boxes of this stuff. Biden won't see any time. Trump won't see any time. These two things are not the same. But because of the media that we have, they will have you thinking that it is.
Isn't the purpose of the House and the Senate and just the entire Congress, isn't that supposed to be a check on the president's power in order to keep this from actually happening where a person could actually be above the law? I'm pretty sure that's what checks and balances is predicated on, so that wouldn't be the case, right?
We had people on January 6th, members of Congress in that building, fear for their lives, calling home to say their last goodbye. They're in prayer circles.
Which was hilarious to me, actually.
In prayer circles, because they really thought they was finna die.
They thought it was
when the January 6th shit happened. And then when they impeached Trump, to be like, how about now? How about now? Can y'all get him the fuck out of here now? Those same people did not vote to get him out. They voted to acquit him. Those same people. So their own life. You see Mike Pence still hasn't flat out been like, yo, he caused the insurrection. It was his fault. And I'm pissed. He tried to sick them on me. This was my life.
It's never gonna happen. We know that.
He had his kids with him. And so you tell me, isn't the Congress there to be a check and balance?
That's their role, but apparently
no,
apparently not.
They're there.
Yeah,
they're there for the rest of us. That's it. For the rest of us. These people, they're above the law. They're there to make sure you and me squeeze out as much juice for this fucking system that they built, and keep us from ever really thinking about the R word again.
Is there right? Is there a difference between above the law and outside of the law?
I mean, I could be parsimonious with that, I suppose, and say
because
it'll be wild.
Criminals exist outside of the law.
That's what I was gonna say. If you outside the law, you a wild boy. You know what I mean? Outside the law, you are a wild boy. You are literally like doing some gangster shit. You like fucking people up and like on out and open like mafia straight up type shit hits and stuff like straight up like for example like kidnapping Biden's kid type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's outside the law kind of stuff. But above the law, you at least have to like I gotta go through these papers. I gotta go through the court date and I gotta file the petition. And I'm gonna get away with it, but come on, I gotta do the whole thing.
Gotta go through these formalities.
Exactly. So that's the above the law kind of thing. I think if you're a person that you are just like straight up committed to just operating outside the law, then like nothing is beneath you. You don't go through fucking like the formalities. You don't. You're just fucking like, yo, I'm doing whatever the hell I want. You know what I mean? This is kind of like for a while how Jeffrey Epstein was operating outside the law because he had Clintons on his yacht. He had freaking the prince I think one of these princes from the UK, you know what I mean, like on his plane on his island stuff, you know what I mean, like everybody was, you know what I mean, Trump, he got bad pictures with him and Trump with little young girls and stuff like that. So that dude right there was probably just living the wild life. The wild life, and he got something on everybody. So that's somebody that's outside the law.
Yeah. I wanted to mention something real quick about the two things that I kind of want to leave it with as far as the media. I think it's interesting that you're seeing a lot of these things. Media outlets are actually cable. They're on cable services, right? So that's one. And number two, they're also competing with all these other technically independent outlets, right? They're competing with YouTube. They're competing with Twitter. They're competing with.
Well, now they are, platforms. But I mean, they've been was doing their own thing before.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, they see that they have to stoop to a different low. They have to stoop to a certain low because they're like, these other platforms are growing at an exponential rate, so we kind of have to start adopting some of these same measures, even in our broadcast. So I think those two things are very strong elements that aren't looked into enough. So that's just those two things I wanted to mention.
All right. Well, there you have it. On the other side, we're going to get into the vibes. Yeah, cleanse our palate of all this. You know, I need a palate cleanser ourselves. So you see on the other side.
You got to be objective. I mean, objectivity.
I think if you had somebody named Natasha Federline that came out with that exact same Beyonce album and that hit the exact same notes,
it wouldn't do numbers.
It wouldn't do no fucking numbers.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm looking at the zeitgeist. I'm looking at society. I'm like, bro, y'all just letting the whole Beyonce allure make y'all like this thing that much. It's all right. You could give it a couple listens, but it ain't hitting like the way Formation was, for example.
I kind of feel that way about Jay-Z a little bit. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there, but we can move on.
444 wasn't lit.
We can move on. I'm just saying. I feel like Jay-Z has had a little bit of that allure too for a long time, and people have overestimated some of his albums.
I think there's some periods. No, okay, so Jay-Z is not flawless. Nobody said. I mean, you have some people, I guess, that might think
you talk to certain people.
Flawless.
Okay, yeah, I'm just saying.
But I don't think Jay-Z is flawless. He had a drop off and stuff like that, but he came back hard. You know, he came back with some good stuff. Like when he you know, that freaking Watch the Throne album. You know what I mean? This is later on in Jay-Z's career. You know, and then we talk about 444, you know what I'm saying?
I've heard reviews about 444.
Like freaking brilliant stuff to see, like, and you can see like an elder statesman kind of a rapper in that 444. So anyways, the type of music that is in RuPaul's album is the same sort of vibe that Beyonce is going for.
Okay.
Right? But RuPaul is actually of that culture. Right. Not to say that, you know, Beyonce can't be, you know, an ally, you know, and she can explore and help give these different people platforms, you know, to express, you know, to share with the world the type of things that they only know about their. So now they're being seen on the bigger platform, which is Beyonce's platform. Right.
Yep.
But with that, you're also making it seem like that album is the shit like that. And the album ain't the shit like that. RuPaul could have came out with Beyonce's same album and it wouldn't do those numbers like that. Because I know this album that I just listened to from RuPaul, it's got bangers. It got bangers that are just like repeatable. You know what I mean? That you could just like put it on repeat and you get the same energy that you get from some of this Beyonce. I don't want to be like pitting the two artists against each other like that. I'm not saying one person's doing it better than the other person, but I guarantee you RuPaul was not making that album for me or you.
Of course not.
But there's something about the music that like it don't matter. If it's hitting, it's hitting.
Okay.
So during my journey, oh, by the way, RuPaul's album is called Black Butter. So check it out. But part of the journey of me figuring out what I'm listening to for the weekend when I was, when Friday hit, that's when I started like looking into new albums and stuff. I came across this Christian album. I was like, what? I was like, how did this come up in my time, in my feed, in my algorithm? You know what I mean?
Go find one way.
He will make a way where there seems to be no.
You can't hide, Darwin. You can't hide.
Yo, I'm listening to this joint, right? I can't even remember the name of the dude. I wish I could remember his name. It was like something Junior or whatever, right? And so I'm listening to the first track. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, all right, you spend some. And I was like, huh. You know what I mean? I guess I heard a little something there, a little churchy, something a little churchy there. You know what I mean? And I try to stay away from the church stuff as much as I can. But I was like, okay, I go into the next track. And then the third one was like, yo, there's no way to heaven but through Christ. Like, I was like, wait a minute, this is a Christian album.
That's how I get you. That's how I got you.
I was like, I remember, yo, Christian rap has come away. Christian rap has come away.
It has come a long way.
Back when I was a Christian, I was like,
it was very corny.
I was like, this is some corn.
It's extremely corny, yeah. But what they've been doing, which has been a hotly debated subject in the church as well, is that the reason why it's becoming what it is now is because they've had to make certain compromises to sound like secular music, right?
The boom and the bop is still boom bop. If you got to get the boom and the bop, right?
It's still boom bop. But it's like but that's why I said there's like so many different takes on it, right? But it's you can argue that it's because that's why there's been a bit more notoriety, is because it's sounding much more closely to secular rap, which obviously Christians would have a problem with, right? So that's always a hotly debated kind of thing that goes on like in Christian circles. But I mean, but in general though, it has come a long way though. Like it really has come a long way.
Yeah, as a sound.
As a sound, exactly.
Because they got me for a couple bars. You know what I mean? They got me for a couple bars. I can relate, my G.
And the weight start hitting them snares.
You know what I mean?
Start chopping,
The bass, if the bass is knocking, you know what I'm saying? If the bass is knocking, then all right, then you're gonna give it a listen. But I don't see I don't see it being a problem. I mean, if you just don't be so corny. It might get a play, it might get a rotation, but you know what I mean. But you're gonna make that junk corny. Then that's ain't gonna be. But the thing is, the point I was making there is that just like coming across that album, just like coming across this RuPaul album, it's like even if it ain't made for you, just like the Christian rap album wasn't made for me, but there's something about the art of music, it when you hear
the artistry itself.
The artistry, when you hear it. And if it's hitting, it don't matter. It's gonna be hitting. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be hitting no matter what ears. Just like I was saying about movies, and people like complain about the resolution sometimes, or okay, watching my phone, or if I'm in airplane. Yo, Inception is gonna be a good movie no matter what device you watch it on.
That's true.
It's a good, you have a slightly better experience because of the sound and all the visuals, you get a big screen and stuff. But you know what? Sharknado doesn't translate. Mortal Kombat doesn't translate. You might have been wowed by the 3D effects and all that kind of stuff, but you will watch it on your regular screen or whatever. So it's like a good movie or a good song will translate through any of these platforms, through whoever hears it universally. It's almost like an objective measure. It's like,
it's art in its art in its purest form. I mean,
Yeah.
but at the same time, the average person doesn't have that ear or appreciation for art
Yeah.
that is music. So you know,
well, it was me. But so anyway, that's it. Them's the vibes. You know, check it out. We got the Anti-Flag, you know, The Lies They Tell Our Children, and RuPaul's Black Butter. It got some bangers on there. Just, you know, give it a listen and enjoy. And you're welcome. But that's it from us today. I've been Darwin Messadude. You can find me on the socials as Darwin_Darko.
Yeah, and I'm Jeff, not Jeffrey. You can find me on IG. We got a couple things cooking up, so check us out when you have a chance. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Sure.
Right on. So mission accomplished. We got another one in the books.
Yes, sir. See you guys next week.
It's challenge day.